Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to this first pilot edition of Nature Echoes on this cold Wednesday, 7th of December 2022. I don't have an opening video yet. I probably won't be until after Christmas before I sort of get inventive of how to open this up. So let's get going. Thank you very much for those of you who are joining me for what's now going to be the weekly time of echoing news, stories, poetry, and art that's connected to folklore, holy wells, our precious water, woodlands, wildlife, and the unseen entities that we may call the she, the guardians, and the fae. All that guide us, all these things that unseen that guide us through our kaleidoscope of living. So it's as usual, it's hail, howl, whole, and holy good health for you all. Now, through this edition that we're sharing, get my buttons in a row here. Uh, right, here we go. No guest today, but several guests are lined up for a pre-recorded interview. But as this is December, not only a busy time for most people, but sadly, discovering as a time when there's bereavements of family and friends. They seem to be higher in December than usual, and personal illnesses too. So, condolences for those of you who are affected. But once January is here, it's like a whole new year, like they say. And we should have quite a rota of guests then. I'm looking forward to it. But anyway, through this December, plenty to share with you. There's going to be news and features that I trust you will find interesting. And as usual, the Nature Echoes Live, which is what this is, the Holy Welsh Revival, Nature Folklore videos, and the Sanctuary support, they're all brought to you thanks to the support of you lovely, kind subscribers. And through that Patreon link there, which now you'll be getting access to a growing video library that I'm trying to work on. This way you can watch lovely short videos of stuff that I've covered in Nature Folklore and Holy Welsh Revival, and you won't get all those adverts that are now being thrown at us on YouTube. And you just help out with $1, euro, a pound a month. It goes a long way towards keeping the show afloat, producing more videos to add to that library, which, once you remember, you can view at any time. So let's see what early birds are with us here. There's Cliff Carr reminding us that it's definitely a good full moon. We're a bit clouded over here, which is quite often the case here. Once it's the full moon, the night before, clear, full moon night, not so clear. Then tomorrow night, we'll probably get it very clear. So it's not all that clear, but I'm sure it'll be in and out. And it is appropriately the cold uh, new moon. Also, the oak full moon. I said new moon, didn't I? Yeah, definitely the cold full moon. But the oak one, because they said this was the time when the druids would be up the oak trees and harvesting the mistletoe as well. But these days, it seems mistletoe is mainly on the apple trees. That's where people doing. We got Danielle here. Here we go, Danielle Garcia. Greetings from Reno, Nevada. Thank you very much, Danielle, for joining us as well. Wonderful. Thanks very much. Thank you for all of you joining. And one thing I hope you'll all gather around to. With this pilot show, the one thing I'm going to be trying out, so get ready for it, is going to be a giveaway. Where are the giveaway things? We've got these lovely cards from Val Robus of magnumlady.com, and she does these paintings, and I don't know if this will come up in the green screen. She's got these. Well, I should have. I might switch off for the green screen. Anyway, you got a lovely robin here, and there's a goose. Yeah, I think I might turn off the back screen when we get nearer the giveaway. Cat. There we go. And a bee, of a lovely bumblebee one, if you can catch that. Anyway, a bunch of these, as I say, this is going to be an art giveaway. I've never done it before, and it's one of these things that's definitely going to be a practice run live, because I can't actually practice it without people. So this is going to be an interesting part of this pilot run as well. Thank you, Penny. You're here as well, Penny, from Ebbing Forest. Clear, cold moon there. Hard frost too. And Cliff says, you saw the cards. Yeah, they did seem to come up with me doing a little bit of shuffling. They came up okay. But I haven't got the name of it. I think it's in Leitrim. It's definitely a dog rescue centre that Val, when she does the art, she tends to give the profits away to some animal charity. And I think this is a centre for dogs in Leitrim. So I'm losing all my equipment here. So, as I say, this is different. It's a pioneer thing. It's features, things of news that I pick up in the week. I'd love to share with you. And the first thing, I think, a top feature I'll use at the moment with you. Let's get to, right, there we go. And then get my, yeah. So, the top of this is the reason this was up. There we go. No, it isn't. Where we go. Try that. There we go. All is well. You might be familiar with Sarah Humble's lovely group on Facebook. And the top feature for me was on this. It was an actual feature that she posted of Masaru Emoto. You may be used to him. He's a popular Japanese researcher. And to me, I love what he does because he's a fellow believer that water is memory as well as water is life. And he hosted a prayer for water experiment during the World Water Day. I think that was 22nd of March this year. And about 100 people were actually on the site present around him. But he also had 500 people on the internet. There were altogether these 100 on site, 500 people on the internet. They were all doing a prayer at the same time for a glass bowl of water that he had extracted from a spring well. Now, according to Emoto, the prepared local spring water, as I say, it was placed in a large glass bowl. Sorry, I haven't got a picture of the glass bowl. Sorry if I'm going head from side to side. I'm sort of being attacked by a cat at the moment. Maybe you'll get to see the cat as well. We'll see. I hope we don't get, because that means equipment flying everywhere. Anyway, going back to Emoto with his prepared spring water in the large glass bowl, with the local participants and the participants on the internet, they were all praying together at the same time, looking at this glass bowl of water. Interesting thing, really, of course, with internet people, because they're looking at this glass bowl of water through an internet screen. I'll talk about that in a moment. Anyway, researchers investigated how the water changed on that day of event. Now, apparently, these are some of the words and phrases that were used in unison. And it's done as a chant by the people around the bowl of water and the people that were looking at the bowl of water online. And this is the English version. There's a Japanese version, apparently, that was also spoken at the same time. So the audio, when it was live, would have been very interesting. Anyway, I'll go through what the chant was. It was we pray for healing. I'll start that again. We'll pray for healing blessings from the rain. We'll pray for healing blessings from the waterfalls. We'll pray for healing blessings from the rivers. And we pray for healing blessings from the Mother Ocean. We pray that their blessings heal our mind and body. We pray that all our waters so pure and stay pure and sacred. And we pray that their blessings heal our Mother Earth through our pure intention of love and gratitude to our waters. We pray that the water shows us the right mindful path to live in peace and harmony. And then after that, everybody chanted, water, I'm sorry. Water, please forgive me. Water, I love you. And water, thank you. And then everybody was given a moment to offer their own individual prayers of their love and gratitude for the water. And that was the ceremony with this bowl of water that was taken from the spring. Now, to me, there's a couple of oddballs and curveballs with this already. The initial reading of this and me telling about this, it may give you the impression that this bowl of water was multilinguistic and that the water actually understood English and Japanese. Now, the other mystery is the mystery effect of, as I say, these people, 100 people or so, watching and speaking to the water through their internet screens. And that reminds me of the social media keyboard warriors who believe that they can change the world if only they could type fast enough and gather the maximum likes, get the entire world. However, Masaru Emoto observed, and somehow he calibrated and measured how the crystal structures of the bowl of water changed before and after all these people recited these prayers. And the present during this was a research company, a water research company was present with all these people. They were called, this, if I can pronounce it, the Sawamoto Shoji, and they were from a place called Kanazawa in Japan. And they actually shared their results through charts and also some water crystal photos. And I think I've got one or two of them here. Let's see if we've got, here's one here. This is the before picture right there. The water crystals, when they broke it down, look quite muddled. And that was, as I say, that was before they took those photos well before the water festival event actually started. And then this is the photos of what happened after all that praying. And that's what we got. Look at a fantastic formation. Just as a comparison again, if I can get it. There you go. That was the before picture. And that's the after picture. Beautiful transformation. And of course, that was shared with the research company during the after the prayers. The research company took the water away. Apparently, they did 17 different tests. And the most notable, and this is one I can recognize, it's called the chemical oxygen demand result. And this is used as an indicator to measure pollution that's caused by organic matter that might be present in the water. And I used to conduct this test when I was doing R&D many years ago. Now, the lower the COD value, the less pollution and the cleaner the water. Now, in this before and after prayer, let's see if I can get the pictures up again as a bit of a reminder. That's the after, the before, and after. The chemical oxygen demand from the test, it changed. That's at 15, and it went down to 7, which is quite remarkable. And the Sawamoto Shoji researchers, they were actually very shocked at the result of this because they said that's absolutely impossible for it to drop that amount. That's quite a numerical change during that test in such a short period of time, just the time they took to say the prayers. Now, the chemical oxygen demand test, it's actually a common test. It's applied to water tests, ponds, rivers, lochs, and so forth. And generally, if the numerical value of the test is 10 or higher, then it's a very difficult water for fish to live in. And the water that was preyed on, so the stuff that they were using beforehand, fish wouldn't have had a hope. So the water that was preyed on instantly changed into water that fish, well, at least carp anyway, could live in. And carp could live very comfortably in that change of water. Now, the other research tests, the other 16, they were a bit too technical and monotonous to explain on this show. But overall, the conclusion was that the presence of these collective prayers had improved the quality of water. Now, one skepticism that still exists for me is that a couple of the tests indicated that there was a huge reduction in the water's ability to chelate with minerals. Now, chelated water, as I've mentioned on the Holy Wells Revival, is actually a basis of good healing Holy Wells water. But of course, as I've mentioned, good chelated water is not ideal water for fish to swim about in. And also, the process of chelating it not only can take in the good minerals from the good stone that the underground water can go through, it can actually lock in pollutants, such as, some of the wells, there's lead warnings. But with most of these wells, you'll find that it's more of a nutritional benefit. So I think the one thing that shows is when we do use a holy well, we have to observe the local tradition and local stories. We have to know our holy wells and spring wells to understand the benefits of the water because of this chelating process. So then this brings up another question of the folklore, because a lot of these holy wells have folklore of serpents, worms, snakes, and fish in the wells and the water pools too. And some of the holy wells, when you visit them today, you can see a little eel wriggle about in them, and sometimes you'll get a little minnow or a small fish in it as well, and that's regarded good luck. But that obviously means the water's not that chelated. Now, what the results of these tests could show benefit towards, in my opinion, is when they're actually used in the flow of water. They do it here by the River Rin here. They do that test here, the COD. So they test the flow of waters, make sure there's not too much effluent coming down from the farms. So it's good for the test of water in rivers, streams, and active pools and locks. Now, I've on various broadcasts I talk about riparian buffers, this sort of thing. I love these. This is a favorite thing of mine, where you actually have trees and plants that's between the fields and the river, and that helps to keep the biodiversity of the river in good shape, because the trees and the plants, they absorb, and the wildlife as well, the crows, birds, they'll absorb all the pollutants that are coming off of the fields and off of the roads, and it defends the river and it keeps very good water. So, and you got natural woodland there, and there's land biodiversity. So that's what these buffers help to do. Now, what if people walking and relaxing? Let's go back and show that one. There's the buffer there. What if there's usually paths in these buffers? So what if people are walking along and they're getting refreshed, they're relaxing, they might stop on the various seats and observe the water and contemplate as people do. What if they collectively said prayers like these that were done for the bowl of water? Now, to do that, I think there's a bit of a touch of the Hail Marys and Our Fathers when we do that. If we actually chant like what these people did that were present in that chant that I went through. But the common presence, to me, yeah, I joked about can the water is the water understand various languages? Is it can they understand English and Japanese at the same time? But I think the common presence is not the words that are said, but how we feel and express when we say them. Now, if we say the same words of our language, supposing we did that chant and we did it in an angry way, then our presence would be very different to if we chanted that in a calm way. And I think we know that when we talk to dogs and cats. If we talk to our pets, dogs and cats in an angry way, they jump to attention. But if we sort of do it in a gentle way, they will come up lovingly and so forth. And I think that's what it is. It isn't the words, it's the presence. By doing the words, it's actually affecting us. We understand the words, and that's what alters our mood. And if our mood is changed, then I think that's going to affect the landscape that's around us. And that's how I feel this works. So it's never the words that's communicating with the water, especially in this experiment, but how the words change, how we feel, and how we share ourselves in a space. But even so, this does leave me with that mystery of how does this work with the people that were doing these chants through this screen? I mean, I'm still puzzled on that one. And I think that's another subject to deal with another time, I think. But another alternative to words is music. And of course, we're calling that sound therapy these days when we do things like this. And this is Carmel Divine, beside some water there, with one of her singing bowls. That's actually certainly a goblet chalice, isn't it? She's getting sound from a chalice by the water. So, doing this, we're having an effect on the space and the environment. And that's said to cause similar magic to if we chant the words. this all fascinates me because through the prayers and sound beads, though they're modern New Agey practice, it's similar to what I've heard and what I tell from past nature folklore. So to me, this is a lovely example. This chanting over the water is a lovely example, or music with the water, a lovely example of bringing the she-based nature folklore right forward into our modern practice. And so thank you, Sarah Humble, for posting that on her All Is Well. And I think let's go back to your comments on that before I get to the next feature. Robin Hart Shepherd is here. I haven't seen you for a lovely to see you. We haven't seen you here for a while. Chanting loving feelings to our rivers. Fabulous idea. And you, yes, you would love that. And that's something Robin practices or encourages others. That's lovely. And Cliff, of course, it's the weather we got at the moment. If I can get Cliff's comments up, there it is. Now it's gone. They look like frozen flakes. That was my impression. You know, I must admit, I love what Moto comes up with, but when I see the photographs, I kind of wonder, does he need to do this? I suppose it's because of the belief, but that's what gets photographed anyway. And Daniel is beautiful there. Oh, here we go. Another comment there. Experiment is incredible, amazing. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, it's totally fascinating because any excuse to talk about our preservation and appreciation of water, because that's where life is to me. That's where the she is. That's where I deal with the wells a lot. To me, it all starts. And if we can have respect and do something for our water, then I feel it's amazing how much else will fall into place. Our care of everything will fall into place. That's just a personal belief of it. Meanwhile, as we were talking about this, though we're having the ice and maybe some snow from some people, here's Jane here, greetings from Jamestown, and it's raining there. There we go. It's raining there. So let's get on to another feature. As I say, I'm trying to make this into 30-minute shows, but not doing very well. Now, the other story I'd like to talk about, because my two leading resources, I've got various resources of which I'll bring the latest news to you through an interpretation. We'll have the guest people, and we'll have poets, and we'll have storytellers. But two of the leading resources, I've taken one from the All Is Well group, that's moderated by Sarah Humble. And then there's the wonderful Ancient and Holy Wells of Ireland that's moderated by Gary Brannigan. Absolutely amazing person all around for lots of different reasons. Now, one recent story that grabbed my attention on that group was the posting. It was a posting by Kildare Community Stories. And Gary had grabbed hold of this news from them, and he put it on the Ancient Wells of Highland for very good reason. Because most people, when they talk about holy wells and think about holy wells, especially if they're outside of Highland, the first thing they think about probably is the Tully Well, the Bridget's Well outside of Kildare. And it's like I always say when I worked on Iona, it was amazing the people I met, because I think Iona is one of those places where just about everybody visits at least once in their lifetime. And I think maybe the Tully Well, the Bridget's Well outside Kildare, is pretty close to that. Now, if you visit there in winter, Claire and I went there one winter a couple of years ago. Look how it was. It's very different to in summer. It's bogged over. It's muddy. Not the most pleasant place to visit at this time of year, especially if we get snows and it starts melting. So that was a problem. That in winter, this was a site that was boggy, and it even got flooded. If you got heavy rain, that whole lot would overflow and flood. And pretty miserable if someone's come for a pilgrimage, especially they've got the cheap airfares. Let's go along to Tully Well, and this is what they see, rather than the lush summer scene. So, as I say, it's not quite the magical visit in summer when it's like that. But that's now being changed because St. Bridget's Well, it's been closed for a while to do some upgrade works. And visitors that go there now, well, when it was closed, people were sent off to the Wayside Well, which is the original Bridget's Well. And to me, that's not such a bad thing to send people to that, because it's in a very quiet spot now. And personally, that Wayside Well is one of my favourite holy wells in Ireland. I actually prefer visiting that one to the Tully Well, because it is, to me, it's a lot more peaceful. But for most pilgrims, they come on up. They want to be at the Tully Well, and that's taking a picture of the behind it. But the upgrade improvements that's been done so far, and there's more to be done. And there's been drainage, so that was the first thing: get rid of all that bog and so forth. So there's been drainage like this. The whole ground's been. So what they've done is, around the perimeter, you see that fence there. They've done a drainage. Dutch drain it is, I think it is, all the way around, and that absorbs any of the moisture that's been collecting up. So when there's flooding, it just goes into the drainage and goes away. So it's going to be in lovely condition all year round. And as you see, the fencing there, that fencing, it'd be nice when it's shrubbery and there are some trees there, but that's the fencing they've got up for now. They've put some new fencing up, and they've done some surface improvements. They're still working on that one by the looks of it. There's I don't see on the picture, but apparently there's a very good grass path there. But they're doing some other stuff, hard surfaces for ease of access, especially for people that have got disability aids, wheelchairs, rollators, that kind of thing. And but there is a grass path apparently there that aids the barefoot walking. That's not it, by the way, but that's a hardening part of it that they've done. But there's a whole use of turf, tarmac, resin, and stone to do different hardened pathways, and a safe softened one for bare feet walking. That's all been installed to suit just about everybody that visits. There's no seating there, notice, at the moment. So something that's going to be arriving, I gather, before Bridget's Day, that we're arriving in January, is going to be 5 very rustic benches that are going to be scattered around the site. And I believe there's planting, they've already planted early flowering bulbs like snowdrops and crocuses. I assume around this area, they will definitely put some bulbs in. So there'll be colour in spring, which is beautiful. And especially to have the snowdrops out close to Bridget's Day, that's pretty vital. As much as they possibly can. Now, coming soon, well, it said coming soon, but I think it's already there. Look at that. There's a stainless steel handrail. It does look institutional, but it does allow safe and trusted access for people who want to go over to see the Bridget statue and get on that island. So everybody now should be able to get over to the grotto area, which was very unstable before. So you've got lovely ease of access there and around the water. There's also some site signage apparently that's going to be arriving. Give a bit more background. That's arriving very shortly. Now, these upgrade works, the reason, they've cleaned up the well there. And the reason they've done this, the motivation for doing such an upgrade, and luckily they were funded to do that, is there's some quite major events coming up around Kildare, also in Ireland, because Bridget's Day next year, 2022, that's the first year that Bridget's Day in Ireland is going to be a national holiday. So that's a big thing. And because it's always long been thought unfair to have a St. Patrick's Day without a St. Bridget's Day. Let's get it balanced. So this is what's happening. And so next year, there's an intent to be much more in the way of activities, more profound activities than what's usually shared around Kildare. And part of the 2023 Bridget's Day event is to further launch what's going to be called Bridget 1500. And this is a program of events and initiatives. I believe it was actually launched last month, 22nd of November, was the official launch of Bridget 1500. But in 2023, they're really going to promote it on Bridget's Day. And I'm not going to say much about Bridget 1500 today, But I think during January, as we approach the Bridges Day, then I'll add a bit more information and a lot more initial news. But to give you a short teaser about this, Bridget 1500 is to commemorate 2024 is the 1500th anniversary of what is the accepted date of the death of St. Bridget. And so this main festival, if I got some people holding a banner here, is going to be around Bridges Day of 2024 to celebrate the life, legacy, folklore, and mythologies of St. Bridget. So, and the program in 2024 will engage with values told of St. Bridget. And I love the way they're going to present this. They're not going to stick to the cliche stuff. They're going to do something like what I tried to do on Nature's Folklore. So they're going to kind of turn it to the folklore of Bridget and how that has contributed to our thoughts and application to such things as biodiversity, sustainability, the arts, culture, social justice, because that's part of social justice, having a holiday as well as St. Patrick's, also the familiar things of peace, hospitality, and education, which are things that we get into conversation about, I believe, when we talk about St. Bridget and even the goddess Bridget as well. So this fits right into the concept of nature folklore, taking the past folklore and applying it to our modern day living as and allow that folklore to be our guide and mentor. So this program for Bridget 1500 is going to be early February 2024, and it's not going to be just Kildare. The Bridget Day celebrations have a festival in Kildare, but this is going to go nationwide. It's going to be an all-island event. There's going to be festivals, concerts, talks, art commissions, illuminations, craft workshops all over the country. And there's going to be a national schools program too that help educate the children of Ireland about St. Bridget, about her legacy, and how it can be applied today, which I think is absolutely beautiful because that's changing things around from the sort of formal church approach to more an environmental approach. I hope they stick to that. Absolutely wonderful. And after the show, when I type things up, I'll post the press release page link, and you can read much more about that. So you can, and also from the press release, there's a link to the Bridget 500 website. So plenty to read. But on the show on Nature Echoes, as I say, I'm just echoing the news, which is what this is about. I'll have to come back with more news about Bridget 500 on the show. And it's lovely. I hope 2024 will be much more mobile. It'd be lovely to do some broadcasting through wherever Nature Echoes is going on, maybe in Kildare itself. So, let's see your comments here. I've got another little thing. I've already gone over the half hour, haven't I? Delighted that Bridget is at last celebrated. Lovely to see here, Margaret. Lovely, Margaret Mulligan, a wonderful woman in Boyle there, who's been inspiring in writers' groups. So when she's led them, when I've been there, there's Robin. I'm wondering if some of these events will be on. Of course they will. I'm sure they will. At least through me, anyway. I always sure there's something, but I think you'll find other people who are streaming. They want the whole world to be involved in this. So there's going to be quite a bunch of programs. And I hope they get into some conferencing. I use StreamYard, of course, but if you got through the levels in StreamYard, you come to a company called Hopin. And this is what the Hopin does. They can set up multiple when you have a conference, you have multiple rooms and you have virtual rooms, virtual events, and Hopping can do a complete conference. They can do like you get on the television. Suppose there's Bridget events in 20 places around Ireland. Well, using Hopin, they can be at all these 20 events and they can use the StreamYard thing like what I'm doing. Talking of that, that's one thing that's going to come up. StreamYard's really expanding with the utilities, the new features that's coming out, and there's a couple I'm going to be using for you. I've already started using some of the video features, and but one of the lovely ones is they've actually brought in a lovely webinar feature and courses feature. So I'm going to be introducing that to you. So I'll be offering little private rooms, because I think this is far better than Zoom, far easier. So this is a new feature. I'll talk about that another time because I'm over the half hour as it is. I'm not actually, this year, I'm not actually going to be doing any live Christmassy broadcasting. I will bring it up a bit, but for Christmas and solstice themes, what I've been doing is going back to last December and the broadcasts I did then, and I'm breaking them up, cleaning them up, I'm reposting them as short videos as a series for subscribers on Patreon. And over time, I want to at last move all of the videos into small clips and build this library up for you subscribers, plus some new stuff. So, as I say, I'm promoting that again because that's what helps to pay. I'm not like a YouTube person who relies on adverts to pay me the expenses. So this subscription, like £1, €1, or $1 a month, or collectively, it helps to pay for the subscriptions, like I have to pay with StreamYard, video editing, and sometimes stuff breaks down. So it all helps. And if you go above £1 or $1, the increased subscription amount actually brings you more benefits. Anyway, I'll talk about this a bit more perhaps next Wednesday. But so far, I've got the trees, holly, ivy, and mistletoe video. That's up there on for the Patreon and subscribers. There's a couple of other subjects. I know there's one that you were delighted with because of the artwork of Jessica Bowman. You might not even know her name, but people are spreading it on the social media. I haven't got the picture of it at the moment, but Jessica is responsible for that lovely underground imagery to depict the winter solstice. And there's a lovely interview. So if you subscribers look into that, I've got the interview with Jessica Bowman up on the Patreon at the moment. It's lovely. Soon I'm going to be including some deer folklore, goats, Christmas goat folklore, all sorts of other Christmassy type of stuff. So to check up on any more comments, any questions at the moment? Not at the moment. Anyway, I'm not doing anything Christmassy. I got one more sort of picture I'd love to share with you that I picked up. I posted this on my timeline on Facebook. Here we go, the new Messiah. There he is. That's Donald. That's Donald that sat there. And he's a cat in Belterra in County Mayo. And every year when the crib is put together, along comes Donald, and he takes up total residency in that town crib every year, posing as the new Messiah. So that's Donald there. I think that's a lovely thing to finish off with. Now, so, the new thing, as I was saying, I've got this experiment, and I hope there's enough of you still here. The giveaway, as I say, I'll go over it again. I've got the giveaway here, which is these. I'll try again with these art cards. These are from Val Robus of MagnumLady.com. Proceeds are going to dog shelter in Leitrim. Sorry, I haven't got the name. There's the bee, there's the cat, and goose, and robin. So the way to do this, as I say, I'm totally green on this. I'm going to bring it up on the screen and see if I can operate it. There you go. See that there? To enter into this draw, type can't even remember what it's called. So in the USA, they call it the pound sign. It's not the asterisk, it's a reverse of asterisk. I can forget. Just type that. That's symbol and art. Put that in. Please enter. Type that in for the draw. And if I can get some of you to, you'll win these art cards. I'm going to be doing a piece of art every year. This is an experiment for this. And so type that in, press enter, and that's how that works for the giveaway tour. There's no interest so far. Do put it up on the screen if you're having a problem with that, putting that in. Even if you don't want the cards, please let me see how this works, because it's a new feature. I haven't been able to. Claire, can you put in? Can you apply? There is. hashtag art. That's it. It's hashtag. So you just put in the hashtag art, and in the comments. Just put it in the comments. There's no one putting hashtag art in the. This is how this works. That's all you have to put in at any time, and you can't do multiple entries. As I say, hashtag art. In order to win a lovely set of Christmas cards. There we go. Margaret's in there and it's showing up on the screen. Very good. Any more people for this? Be brave. Don't be scared. Hashtag art, just like what Margaret has done there to enter in. Penny's in there. Great. And keeping it rolling. No, yes, just hashtag art. You just find the hashtag key there, or the pound key as it is in the US. I'll give you a few moments on this to get this, and we'll see how this rolls. There we go. Yes, you've got it, Robin. There you go. Fantastic. Yeah, it's that simple. I think after a few weeks, we'll find people will be doing this right at the start, because you can put this in hashtag art right from the beginning of the show. And once you become familiar with, and we'll be going as this gets bigger. Obviously, the art prizes will get bigger as well. So I'll give you a few seconds to work that out. If there's any other questions, I can answer those while you're doing that before we actually roll this. As I say, this is a brand new thing. Hashtag art to win the art collection here, the Val Robus. And any other volunteers for doing this before I roll this as we're going? As I say, we got, these are so live. I've got the green screen in the way. So there we go. Hashtag art. Anyone? Lovely presentation. Let's roll it. Shall we roll it before everybody goes away? Let's see how we go. Anyone else? Hashtag art coming, and then I'll run it. Okay, not many entries. Let's see who's going to get this one. Right, there you go. It's going over again. Who's going to get it? And Margaret, well done. The first one put it down. You're the winner. I'll get hold of you and see how you. That's fantastic. So that's how that works. Yeah, it worked. That's why, as I say, I can't actually. I couldn't actually test that without being live with people. So I'm glad to see that actually works. Very good. So, as I say, the only thing is to let you know what's coming up. As I say, I'll run that giveaway each week. And during future editions, the art in anytime, put hashtag art right from the start. You can put that in. As I say, you can't do it multiple times. If you do, it'll just come up once. There's no magic time to enter. Some people say, oh, which is the point of the show where I'm most likely to win? As far as I know, it does totally random. It's like picking names from a hat or a chart. Nature Echoes and Holy Worlds Revival, Nature Folklore Video Sanctuary Support, as I say, brought to you by that patron, and that helps to pay for these art prizes too. So if you can help out, thanks very much. Coming up next Wednesday, I'm not sure what we got coming up. I think there might be one guest coming up talking about an oak tree. Anyway, we'll pick up, as I say, this is echoing feature news as it comes up. Brilliant idea, says Cliff Carr. Congratulations, Margaret. Yes, very much congratulations. And she was first to be brave enough to put that in, but I think in future you'll all get the hang of it. I've enjoyed being with you this evening, sharing nature folklore. Absolutely fabulous. And if you're watching this as a replay, as an archive, please keep your comments going. Of course, you can't be in the draw then, but you'll be in the draw if you come on live next week. And I do check your comments. Please click the bell icon on YouTube. And of course, this has gone through both channels, Nature Folklore and Holy Worlds Revival. And that reminds you, that we're back on next Wednesday. So enjoy a safe week full of wonders, inspiration, enchantments that comes with the presence of water woods and the mysteries of nature. So until next Wednesday, I think that's all I've got to offer. I've gone well over the 30 minutes, but I hope you enjoyed it. Lovely to be with you. Thanks very much, everyone. And hopefully, I hope those of you who are putting up with the winter weather, be safe, be warm, and I look forward to you glowing next Wednesday, 8 o'clock Irish time. So thanks very much. I'll end it there. Bye. Bye.